Israel. Good evening, comrade. Good evening, Israel. Abongwa, Israel. All the way from the United States. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Wow. Hero. Good evening, Hero Roberto. Good evening, comrade. Welcome. Woo! Haha. Hannah. Asobo. All the way from Nebraska. Hello. The land of Warren Buffett. Good evening, Hannah. Josephine. Hello. Good evening. So happy seeing you all this evening. Yes, the man of God himself. The one and only Fritz Takan. The truth speaker. Akawong. Good evening. All right. Go ahead, share and invite your friends. Thank you, Senior Comrade Fritz Takan. Appreciate it, sir. Alain. Atem. Good evening. Thank you very much. Joel. How's it going, Joel? Fobang. Go ahead, share and invite your friends. Better to radio. Revolution progress. Good evening, Diva. Wow, Israel said, we love you, oh my God. Thank you, Israel. Appreciate it. Better to radio. Revolution progress though. We don't get a breakthrough, so I can't begin to tell now what did happen. Shitu. Hello. Go ahead and share and invite your friends. Tell your friends we've achieved a breakthrough in our revolution, and let me talk to you all about what this is all about. It's a lot that's happening. So, Embassy. Ooh, come on, hey. Yes, thank you. Go ahead and share and invite your friends. It's fun, guys. It's a lot going on. Ernest. Ngomba. Good evening, Comrade Frank. Thanks for joining us. Ambassador watching all the way from Sweden. Vince South. Rosie. Hello. Esame. Esame. Rosie say hello, wise man. No worries, Akawan. Please go to work. Go make that money, bro. Go to work. Go make that money. So, the video will be here. When you come back from work, you can watch later. Grace Besem. Hello. Better news though. So, I'm celebrating already. I'm celebrating. Share and invite your friends. Once we reach the number, we will start very soon in 2 minutes. Whoa, other methods. Welcome. Oscar, Opitino, Bokwe, Oscar. Good evening, comrades. I salute all now. Better to read this evening. Revolution. Haha. Say spill it, please. Oh yes, Grace Bessem says spill it. Uday, we'll share them. Bokwa Oscar, we'll hail you too, bro. So please, go ahead and share the video, invite your friends. We got that's a lot to talk about tonight. Our revolution is making a lot of progress. We've achieved a significant breakthrough, and so let me share it with you all to increase your optimism and hope that we are getting to Boya. We will get to Boya. So go ahead and share and invite your friends. That's a lot to talk about tonight. I'm excited. I hope you all are. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. So share and invite your friends. We're going to start once we hit 50 people. We're so close, guys. All we need, I know it's evening, I know it's late for some parents that have to put their children to bed. So just go ahead and share, invite your friends, tell them I'm online. It's something very important to talk about tonight. And so it's important we have, let's make sure we get at least 50 people live before we start. So we can do that. Okay, we're already at 35. So keep sharing. More people will know we are online now. Oh, there we go, 37 already. It's 2 a.m. here in Austria. Wow. Wow. First of all, Ernest Ngomba, thank you for staying up till 2 a.m. to watch this video. I really appreciate you. Festus. Hello. Niba Messi. Good evening, Niba. Miss Messi Niba. Boris. Hello. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there. So, Torrideo. Hey! Hey! Come on. Wow. Ambazonia. Wiki Williams. All the way from Ground Zero. Wow. Wow. Ambatse. Sweden. Thank you, sir. You just got home from work. You can't wait. All right. We are close to the number. 4 more people and we'll get started. Hey, Malaika Lovelin. Yes. Max Ken. Wow. Max Ken, you up. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you all. Oh yes. Ernest Fru. Thank you, Ernest. Woo! Melvin Obi, hello. Eldon, what's up, man? Oh, revolution is sweet, oh. Dowie Vivienne, hello. All right, my people. Then, good evening, Amazonians. Good evening, Southern Cameroonians. I am your friend, your brother, Lucas Asu. Before we start, as always, we will start with the Amber Anthem, right? So let's do this. You can sing along. Hail, hail, hail this land of glory. We the Ambazonians who pledge our loyalty. Praise the Son, our Savior, who granted us the freedom. Allegiance to the heroes who bore the land with their blood. Glory to the glory, we rise and never to fall. Here in a nation flowing with milk and honey. Glory Glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation, a joy forevermore. Ambazonia, land of freedom, you shall live in plenty, meeting our needs, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Ambazonia, land of freedom, shall live in plenty, meeting our needs, and your children shall be like the stars above. The Most High God be the watchman of this nation. Good evening, my fellow Ambazonians. Good evening, Southern Cameroonians. Good evening, the most amazing people in the world. I have really great news for all of you. Our revolution has taken a very positive turn. We have achieved a remarkable breakthrough. And this evening, it is my humble privilege to tell you what that is, explain to you how that happened, and to increase your hope, your optimism, that the unity that we have been calling and fighting for, our revolution has reached a remarkable point. There is a certain type of a divine grace that has befallen upon our leaders. So whether you're watching from ground zero, whether you're watching from the refugee camps in Nigeria, whether you are in Sweden, whether you are in China, whether you are here in Toronto, or you're somewhere in the forest watching this, I'm very delighted that you've made the time to join me this evening. And I want to tell you how much I'm humbled by this experience to be sharing this message with you at this specific time. I'm also humbled to be here. I'm a humble messenger. As a strategist, as a coach, it's my own patriotic responsibility and obligation to serve with all my heart. So I feel very privileged that you all have given me your time, and I'm delighted. So what's going on? I hope everyone is having a great evening, or you've had a great day. Whatever it's happening, there is good news. There's a positive news. You all know, I'll make it very short. This will be a very short broadcast. You all know our people have been crying and calling out for unity and collaboration amongst our leaders. And the people of Canada, the Ambazonians in Canadian, and Ambazonians collectively, have made a significant impact in their quest for unity, in their persistent quest, calling our leaders, calling the frontline leaders, calling frontline organizations to unite. And as a result, divine grace touched our people. And on my platform, I have persistently advocated that unity is the shortest path for us to get to Boya. And our leaders have heard that call, listened to the people, and today there is a significant event that has taken place, which I would like to take the time to explain it, break it down, and then to tell you how it all had happened. Okay? Over the weekend, the Commander-in-Chief, Dr. Ayabacho, visited the people of Canada and explained to them that the time has come for all leaders, all frontline movements to unite, to speak with one voice, and that all the frontline leaders, it's time they rally behind the interim president. Dr. Cho humbled himself, one of the most humble men that I have met so far, humbled himself, and that he's willing to serve and give Dr. Sako all the help he needs to carry us and lead us to Buea. All right, let me just stop here. Please go ahead. Mami Jera, thank you for joining us. Just also want to honor you for all the extraordinary work you're also doing behind the scenes and on camera. Please go ahead and share and invite your friends. This is a very important conversation in our revolution. And we need to have our people listen to this and watch and participate in this. At the end of this, I will take some, dedicate some time to answer some questions. So, Dr. Cho humbled himself. And when he consulted with the Canadian people, he assured them that he feels the time has come for not only him, but for all other leaders to unite and to have one voice, that there's no need for us, for these organizations and these leaders to be doing their separate things, that it is better we channel all our energies together, because the monster that we are facing, the international conspiracy that we are facing, is greater than all of us. And so the more united we are, the more resourceful, the more creative, the more powerful we can be. And so I also want to honor Commander-in-Chief Dr. Ayabacho for his humility, for his grace, for his willingness to work with Dr. Sako and give Dr. Sako all the help Dr. Sako needs. So during Dr. Ayabacho's visit in Canada, a proposal was made that a conference should be organized where all our frontline leaders will meet and create a framework of true unity and collaboration so that they all can channel their energy behind Dr. Sako. And the Canadian people took that proposal and championed it as the best possible way for us to get to Buea. And in consultation with the people of the United States and the people of China, so it's Canada, the United States, and the people of Ambazonians in China, that gave birth to this idea. It was also suggested by Dr. Ayabacho, because Dr. Cho feels it's time we make a greater contribution than fighting for our own individual political correctness. So this is how the idea was born, the idea came about. So Canada, United States, and China gave birth to this idea that a conference should be organized. So today the breakthrough has come about just 4 days after Dr. Ayabacho left Canada. The interim government, here is the breakthrough, the interim government of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia has also agreed to participate in this conference. So this is the breakthrough where Dr. Ayabacho, the people of Canada, the people of the United States, Canadians in China, set up a proposal that has been agreed at. A conference should be held to bring all our frontline leaders to hammer out the things that will make us become a stronger united front. And so the interim government today, through its communications secretary, Chris Anu, has agreed to this idea that they support the conference. They are excited about the conference. So there is a clarification I want to make here. This idea, it's not the interim government idea. This is not to say that this idea was a Canadian idea that is supported by the Americans and the Ambazonians in China. The interim government has agreed to accept to be part of that conference. So the idea, was not given birth by the interim government. However, the interim government is saying that they want to they want to create a conference to bring all the leaders together. I think that leaders should learn to give credit to their people. And I think the interim government also should learn to give credit to Ambazonians in Canada, Ambazonians in the United States, and Ambazonians in China, and also to Dr. Ayabacho that put forward this idea, that the idea was overwhelmingly accepted by at least 95% of Ambazonians. Because during Dr. Cho's visit here, the enthusiasm about the idea of that conference, excuse me guys, the enthusiasm about the idea of that conference was so overwhelming that the interim government is also been inspired to support the idea. So what I'm saying here is, this is the breakthrough, that an idea for a conference to bring all our leaders together has been achieved. And now the president, the interim government said yes, Dr. Ayabacho said yes to it, Southern Ambazonians in Canada, Ambazonians in the United States, stop messaging me please. Stop calling, stop messaging. Ambazonians in China, all have agreed to this. So today the interim government has accepted that it will be part of this conference. This conference will not be organized by the interim government. This conference will be organized by the people, by Canada. Please stop messaging me. This conference will be organized and sponsored by Ambazonians in Canada, Ambazonians in the United States, Ambazonians in China. Other nations can also participate to bring this conference. This conference will be sponsored and championed by Ambazonians themselves. It's the Ambazonian people that want to bring their leaders together. It is not the interim government that wants to bring the leaders together. This is the distinction I want to make. The conference will be organized by the Ambazonian people. The conference will be sponsored by the Ambazonian people. The interim government will be a participant in the conference, just like any other group. From what was accomplished in Canada, because if the interim government, here's the reason. The people in Canada felt that if the interim government organized the conference, then the interim government will now be, it's like organizing the game and then you become the referee, right? The people said no. The people said, we want the interim, we, the people, will, yes. Just hold on a second. I will answer all your questions, please. This is a conference that will be organized by the people, that the interim government will also send its own delegates. People from LCY will send their delegates. People from Maurice will send their delegates. People from AGC will send their delegates. The interim government will send its delegates. All right. So this is a conference that is being organized by Ambazonians to bring their leaders together. Ambazonians are going to organize this conference. Ambazonians are going to sponsor this conference to bring the leaders together to chart. There are two reasons why they want to do it, and the interim government spokesperson also explained this. Reason number one, the world is right now talking about negotiations. I'm sure you've been reading online about, this person is saying negotiation. The BR government is saying they want to negotiate. There's also, what do they call? Tabloids news, or what they call social media gossip or rumors, which we don't know the sources, that are suggesting that, BR wants to talk with Sissoko and that it may take place in Dakar, Senegal. But we don't really know where this information is coming from. We don't know who is engineering this. Whatever the case, the interim government has accepted that they want to participate in the conference. And here's why. Because any negotiation that the interim government goes behind closed doors and negotiate will not be accepted by most leaders. So the interim government said, let's bring all the leaders together. Let's agree on two things. Let's agree on what will be the terms and conditions of negotiations. So the interim government is bringing all frontline leaders to participate. The interim government and all frontline leaders are meeting in order to discuss the terms and conditions of any negotiations. What will our people accept? What will our people not accept? And this will be hammered out, accepted by all the frontline leaders. This is extraordinary. What does that mean to our revolution? It means now we are going to speak with one voice. It means now all the frontline leaders after the conference will dissolve their differences and then now rally behind the interim government. This is remarkable. And this is something I want to applaud all Ambazonians that have been calling for unity. All Ambazonians that have been talking about unity. All Ambazonians that have been demanding for unity. I want to applaud everyone. I want to applaud you all. So this is extraordinary. I thank you all for your relentlessness. I thank you all for your belief that unity is the surest way for our victory. So this is great. And so second reason they want to come together, it's to create a framework of how they're going to collaborate and how they're going to unite. Okay? So I want to thank our leaders. I want to thank Dr. Chairman, Commander-in-Chief Chairman Ayabacho. I want to thank Dr. Sako for their humility. I also want to thank all the activists that have been advocating for this unity. And finally, one of our revolutionary leader, Dr. Chairman Comrade Cho, and the interim government, they've all now agreed to a conference. So in the coming days, I will be giving you guys a lot more detail. Dr. Sako, oh, by the way, so that is the breakthrough. And I'm sure you all will praise this idea. You all will spread this idea. You all will support this idea. And we, the people, are going to fund this conference. The frontline, the delegates of the frontline organizations, the people of Ambazonian Canadians, Ambazonians Americans, and Ambazonian China, maybe Ambazonians in Europe or England will also become part of this. They will work out the details of this and then communicate this with the interim government and the various frontline organizations. So this is extraordinary, and I'm very proud that at this stage we have gotten to the point in which all our leaders now want to come together for the greater benefits to free Ambazonia and for the greater benefit to advance the cause of our revolution and the cause of our freedom. So this is extraordinary. This is all the people's revolution, and the leaders are now listening to the people. And I'm very delighted for this. This is extraordinary humility. Also, another thing that I also want to let you all know, that the acting president, Dr. Sako, will be in Canada tomorrow with a 20-man delegation from the United States to visit with the people of Canada, to consult with the people of Canada. I have been briefed on it. I've had several briefings about this visit. So Dr. Cho will also be here in Canada. Dr. Cho will also be speaking and meeting with the people of Canada. And the people of Canada are going to be presenting this idea to Dr. Cho as well. And I'm sure since they've already accepted, it will be a very delightful trip. So I look forward to it. So I'm letting all Southern Cameroonians in Canada, wherever you are in Canada, wherever you are in the United States, that all roads in North America leads to Toronto this weekend. Our president is going to be here. This will be his first international trip. And I invite all Canadians, all Ambazonian Canadians, all Ambazonian Americans. Look, if you're in Europe, please, it's weekend. Buy your ticket tonight. Take a weekend trip. Come down in Toronto, where the president is going to be here. You're going to have an opportunity to meet your president for the first time, right? So it's very exciting. A lot of exciting things are happening. You guys remember when Dr. Ayabacho came to Canada just a few days ago, what was accomplished? Imagine what will also be accomplished when Dr. Sako comes here. So this is just remarkable. This is a great time in our revolution. I am so excited. I'm so thrilled. I'm really passionate, actually. Okay? So This is the news. Wherever you are, all roads lead to Toronto. Toronto is a place to be this weekend. The acting president, Dr. Sako, will arrive in Canada tomorrow, Friday evening. I will give you guys a lot more detail probably tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. There will be an informal dinner. Not everyone is going to be there. And then on Saturday, I will keep updating you guys as to the events. But just so you know, Dr. Sako is going to be in Canada this weekend. So wherever you are in Canada, make sure you are in Toronto to come and welcome the president, to come and be with your president, to spend time with your president. On Sunday, there will be a massive town hall meeting with the president, and that's where the president will would talk about a lot of things. Also, the president will also be taking in personal questions, and there will be a lot of discussions. So that's the news. That's the message for tonight. I will stop here so that I take some questions. All right? Ambazonia Williams. My suggestion is that the power of the IG should be transferred to Ambazonians. Let me read your self-defense council. People who are trustworthy should be... Ambazonian William, look, I hope you understand that this is the people's revolution. And through the events that have happened over the last weekend and the events that have happened today, it tells you that the leaders are listening to the people. The leaders are listening to what the people are saying. The leaders are listening to what the people know they want. And the leaders are listening to what the people, the direction the people want the revolution to take. So the leaders are paying close attention. As I'm telling the leaders, a leader who is not acutely sensitive to the psychology and the mindset as to where the people are will be left out. All right? Hear that from me, from the strategist himself. Okay? Rosie Esame, please, maximum security should be put in place. Let history not repeat itself. Rose Esame, Canada is one of the most peaceful places on the face of the planet. The president will be very secure, just like when Dr. Ayabacho came here. We made sure that the people made sure that he was very safe. So there will be maximum security. But first of all, Canada is the most peaceful place on the face of the planet. Whatever plans the frogs probably may be having because we tell them that the president is going to be here, that is not going to happen in Canada. Never. Okay? Just be assured. This is a very extraordinary place, and I'm sure even the Atanganji and the Bia people, they understand that. They can't cross our border and come here and do any foolish thing. They all will be sent. The next day, all of them will be arrested. The Canadian government will come right to Cameroon and arrest even Paul Bia himself. So they should keep that in mind. When is the conference? Martin Monono. A date has not been set. That is something that it's in work right now. Lucas, this is what I have been saying to you, that you are smart. This is Fidelis Chico. Lucas, this is what I've been saying to you, that you are smart to be talking or doing this or that. I am glad you know how powerful you are and that your leadership. Okay. Thank you very much, Fidelis Chico. Thank you very much for the compliment, even though you've been one of my worst critics. But I'm sure you've also begun to appreciate the extraordinary work we all do. Thank you. I'm not the only one doing this. This is the work that every true activist is doing. All right? Yes. Tight security is a priority. Security, 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 security. Yes. In the name of Jesus. Do we have maximum number of security? Jericho Brown. Yes. Don't worry. The president is taken care of. Please pin the conference location on this live video. We will do that as soon. We will do that by tomorrow. I will pin the conference location so that. But right now, just know that all roads lead to Toronto. this weekend. Please don't forget about the leaders of Tigers. No, we won't. Ambazonia William said, okay, because thank you, because I will not put my gun down until we reach Boya. What about leaders who want to stand on their own? Through Caleb, look, any leader that wants to stand on their own, through Caleb, any leader that wants to stand on their own, I think that will be a choice. But right now, what the Amazonian people want, it's unity of all their leaders. But, you know, as you also know, you know, people have a free will and they have a right and a choice. But for most of our leaders, I'm sure they will rather unite and be part of the making of history than to be on the sideline of history. Okay? So we mentioned about the fact that if General Ivo, Tapang Ivo, Tanku, be also included, that's not a decision I have to make. I'm an activist and I'm doing my own best. I'm sure I'm sure the leadership consulting with you know, activists that have gained a lot of social popularity and now appears to lead. You know that Ivo played a pivotal role when the power was transferred, when Dr. Barrister Bala and Dr. Fontaine were arrested. You know that Tapang Ivo, Tanku, and Mark Barretta played a pivotal role in leading, in socially leading the revolution until when SCACUF was created with the initiative of Patasang and the rest, and then they went back to play their role as frontline activists. So that's something that we have to applaud. So at any time, I'm sure the leadership is constantly in consultation with people like Tapang Ivo and the rest. But that's not a decision that I can make. How many members of the IG will be there? Jacob Brown, Jacob Brown, as of now, of what I know, the acting president will be coming with a delegation of a 20-man delegation. Yes. Sorry, I have to leave you guys. No worry. Agboshela, Besem, we understand it's very late. Please go get some sleep. I know you are one of the brain behind this. Tam Titus, I don't take the credit for this. The credit goes to the people of Ambazonians in Canada. The credit goes to Ambazonians. The credit goes to Commander-in-Chief Dr. Ayabacho for his humility to have proposed this, accepted this, and decided and realized that this is one of the most important things we need to do, especially the fact that, you know, we are leading towards a negotiation and all our leaders want to make sure that they all have one voice, they all have one purpose, and they all have decided as to what should be the outcome of any negotiation with the terrorist government of shithead president of La République du Cameroon. Ground Zero believes in the IG will be stronger than ever. That's true. They believe in the IG. Many hands do light work. It's been my philosophy. When all these leaders come together, what you realize is that even on ground zero will become a lot more effective. And then it will also be a lot more easier to raise money. As I've said many times, imagine Dr. Sako, Dr. Ayabacho, you know, Bo and Akwanga, you know, Dr. Akwanga, they all are out there at the same time raising money, you know, for our cause. This is extraordinary, guys. Look, this is the Ambazonian spirit, okay? This is the Ambazonian spirit. Whoever was behind the disunity, I'm sure that person is feeding That energy is being washed out now, and the true spirit of the Ambazonian people and Ambazonian leadership, it's now showing itself, and that's why we're making so much more progress. But also, you could see that just because we have changed the divisive way in which we are communicating, and now we are communicating with one voice, you realize that the international community is now taking us serious. You guys need to pay attention to the psychology of how powerful our unity is. The international community is taking us a lot more serious now, especially in the last few days. Something has happened since the Canada event last weekend. Look at what has changed, even within the international community. Since Dr. Cho came to Canada and made those statements and evoke that unity. Have you realized the significance of what is happening geopolitically in favor of our revolution? Realize when the Canadian people agreed and decided in what should be the future of the revolution. Look at what is changing. And this is the power of unity. All right? So watch in the coming days. You will see now the world will be talking about the need for a dialogue. The world will be telling Bia, we're going to hold you accountable for this stuff. Okay? So pay attention. The more they understand, because the world is paying attention to how we communicate. As our people are speaking more of a united way, the leaders are communicating more unitedly than divisively. You could see that also the world's opinion about us is also changing. The world is moving to our favor. And that's the power of unity. We haven't even united yet. And the world is already moving to our favor. Imagine when that conference takes place. Imagine when all our leaders now come up with one policy, one voice, one statement, and they rally behind the acting president. That's it. That will be the end of Paul Biya and La République du Cameroon. Okay? Do we have a list of the leaders that have been invited? Are you talking about the leaders that have been invited to Canada, or Grace Bessem? Are you talking about the leaders that are invited to Canada, or the leaders that are invited for the conference? From what I understand so far, I think each group, including the interim government, will have a certain number of delegates to send to the conference. Yes. IEC. Is Atta Milan one of the leaders? I don't think that Atta Milan and his organization's scope. I can't say this, but from what I don't think Milan is an executive anymore in the interim government, so I don't think he will be part of it. But I don't know. I can't make decision for the interim government. So, but I don't think Scope will be one of the organizations that will be in this conference. Since every single conversation that has taken place has not shown that as an indication, and so it won't be. Leonga Martin, thank you very much. Said I like your sincerity. Would the meeting be on live TV? I don't know yet, but I'm sure as time goes on, we will have a lot more details about that. The earlier the conference takes place, the better. I agree. Festus, thank you. Yes. What is the position of Barrister Bala in the struggle? Rosie, Barrister Bala has played a very important role in the struggle. As you know, from the days of the consortium, you know, he was the leader. You know that he's played a very vital role. Barrister Bala, you know that he's a very sincere man. Barrister Bala has advocated for a return to a two-state federation from the beginning, and he still holds that position. So I don't know if he's changed that position. The conference is a conference for the nationalist movements. It's for leaders and organizations that believe for the full restoration of the independence of Southern Cameroon, and that our independence is non-negotiable. Okay? But as of now, from what I know, Barrister Bala still holds the position of a return to a two-state federation. However, Barrister Bala is playing an important role in championing the human rights cause, the genocide, in telling the world about the genocide, in telling the world about the war that Biya has declared on the people of Southern Cameroon. Barrister Bala is traveling the world and helping to shape the atrocities that Biya has committed. Biya and his troops, his military and his government have committed in war crimes and crimes against humanity they've committed. So we have to respect Barrister Bala for that and continue to support him and applaud him for his his fight in terms of advocating, educating, and letting the world know. First of all, Barrister Bala is one of the most internationally respected Southern Cameroonian human rights lawyer, and one of the most respected in Africa in general. So he has a fundamental role to play when it comes to the issues of human rights, of the genocides, of the war, and I think the world is going to be consulting with him. And if anything about human rights, I think Barrister Bala will be the person. First of all, he's also a victim of, Barrister Bala is a personal victim of Biya's abuse of people's rights and human rights. He's paid the price. He's been to Biya's concentration camp in Kondengi. And so I'm sure he's going to be one of the people that are going to be testifying against Paul Biya, okay, in the International Criminal Court. What is your take of scope? Walton, Kenneth? My take about Anyangwe, my take about scope is that right now I haven't read much about this organization. I don't really pay attention to things that I'm not really interested in, but I think I should read about it in order to understand. But from what I understand, Atta Milan said this is an organization which should somehow be a grassroots movement for whatever reason, for whatever he feels he wants to make his own contributions. So that's all I know. What I know about Professor Carlson Anyangwe is that he is still the what do they call, the international, it's almost like the Minister of Foreign Affairs, or the communication, the international, what do they call it, the Foreign Affairs Secretary for the interim government. That's all I know about that. Lucas, I'm going to be honest with you. What you need to, is that ground zero, 80%? Okay, Malaika, yes. Yes, ground zero owns 80% of the struggle. That's true. We don't handle security properly. That's true. Right now, our people are learning to do that, especially presidential security. Okay? That's true. Thank you, Malaika. We want to see Sisiku Tabi and be with him, because any meeting happening after you are arrested. Lord Father, true, we all want to see Siseko. We all want to see him. So, but as you know, they have been flying rumors on social media that Siseko will be meeting up with the La Republique shithead dictator Paul Biya for a negotiation for peaceful separation in sometime soon in Dakar, Senegal, or in Ouagadougou somewhere. Yes, we shall be free. That's true. General Ivo has contributed greatly to this revolution, especially his activism and his advice to our people. Fidel Chico. Imagine my trip to Boya with a frontline leader backing it up. That's true. That's what Fidel. You've watched my video many times. I've talked about this, how significant it is. But unfortunately, sometimes leaders are very slow in reasoning now, because because they are surrounded by people that give them advice that in most of the time do not work to the benefit of the people, but to the benefit of our. But right now, our leaders are humbling themselves to come together. Okay, so to raise a lot of money will be a lot more easier for the interim government. Kelvin. Nchukwi Kelvin. I suggest we contact the Canadian government for security. I'm scared of Naira. No, Kevin, those things don't take place in a nation like this. But we have securities in place already. Canada Conference is going to change the face of the struggle. Love Taco. That's right. Canada Conference has already changed the face of the struggle. Look already what is happening 4 days already. So, all right. Any other question, guys? Any other question? It should be live on LCBC and can give suggestions. Maybe, I think so. And I'm sure, what's his name? I'm sure Dexter Brain. I think Dexter Brain, I don't know yet, but I'm gonna send him a message tonight and ask him if he's gonna be here to broadcast live on LCBC the president's trip to Canada. All right? I don't know yet, but I'm gonna send Dexter Brain a message. I'm sure it's gonna be. George Bamedi, who organized the Unity Conference. The Unity Conference is organized by Ambazonians in Canada, Ambazonians in the United States, and Ambazonians in China. Yes. I deserve some accolades. Thank you very much. All right, guys. This is it for the. This is the message that I had for tonight. We've already been on air for about 50 minutes. So let's call it an evening. I know that some of you have to go to bed. Some of you are just waking up. You have to go to work. So I really want to thank you all. Take this information and share it all with your people. Most importantly, let me remind every Ambazonian in Canada and in the United States and even those that are in Europe. All roads lead to Toronto this weekend. The acting president, Dr. Samuel Sarko, will be here with a delegation from the interim government beginning tomorrow till Sunday evening. There will be a massive town hall on Sunday, which will be chaired by the acting president, Dr. Sarko. So every Ambazonia in Toronto, in Canada, all over Canada and the US, please just know that this weekend all roads lead to Toronto. This is the first trip. Dr. Sarko is the first international trip acting President Sarko is making since he took over the helm of to lead the interim government. All right, so that's the information. I'm going to have some more information about the details about the president's trip, and I'll be passing on that information probably tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning. So that's it for tonight. You guys have a great night, and I want to thank you all for being part of this conversation. Take the information and share it, spread it. Tell your people that we've achieved a remarkable breakthrough. Our leaders are all coming together, and this is extraordinary. The world is watching, and so, our revolution, we're getting closer and closer and closer to Boya, and the BR government is crumbling and crumbling and crumbling and crumbling and crumbling and crumbling. The dictator, but we don't even care about that. What we care about is the freedom of Ambazonia, the freedom of the people of Southern Cameroons, to end the suffering of our people, to end the killing of our people, to end the genocide that's taking place in our nation, and to liberate our nation, and so that we can build one of the most extraordinary nations on the face of the planet. All right? And that's Ambazonia. Ambazonia is real, my people. So go to bed with optimism, with hope, knowing that we are getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to having a homeland. So for now, have a good night.